We had the breaking news at the end of the show yesterday when it came to the Carolina Hurricanes. Very end, very, very tail end of the show. We bookended yesterday's show.
Like the last 2 minutes.
With Canes news. Mm-hmm. We had the breaking news that Evgeny Kuznetsov was placed on unconditional waivers with the designation of having his contract terminated. And then at the very end of the show, by the way, Jack Drury agrees to a 2-year extension with the Carolina Hurricanes. It's a 2-year contract at $1.725 million per year. Trip Tracy, the color analyst for the Carolina Hurricanes, actually joined the show next up on 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh, North Carolina. Trip Tracy, the color analyst for the Canes, joined Paul Ihander and Graham Hill on the show earlier today, talked about the value of Jack Drury signing.
I think this is a very, very good signing by the Hurricanes. I mean, the number is a great value, probably such because, had it gone to arbitration, the strength probably early in his career fell in the Hurricanes' favor. And, hey, that's the way it should be because, we've seen with all these free agents that were just lost because that pendulum shifts as you approach unrestricted free agency. So I think it's without question going to be an outstanding value deal for the Hurricanes.
I agree. 100% agree that it's a great value deal for the Carolina Hurricanes. Because here's how I thought it was going to be more closer to $2 million per year. That's what I was thinking. Now, I'm sure that's probably what he was going to be asking if they actually did reach arbitration, which was set to roll around actually starting this weekend. So the window to still get something done was open, and they clearly got it done. And I thought $2 million was probably going to be the number that they would maybe settle on. 2 years at $2 million per year. But hey, get him at $1.725 million. As Tripp said, great value for the team.
It's like an Amazon Prime deal.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Maybe they Amazon Prime dealed it.
They did. That's what it is.
Let's go. Good job.
Thank you.
Great job. Great. That was 100% Victoria on that call right there.
It was a light bulb moment, and I thought, oh, it's during Amazon Prime Days. There you go.
And it arrived. Everyone's Prime deals should be arriving in the next 2 days.
I know, it's going to be on your doorstep, yeah.
Should be arriving by the time arbitration begins. But speaking of Jack Drury and the value of the contract, well, Trip Tracy also did continue to say that Drury earned the contract.
For Jack early last season to be thrust into a situation that he earned and then he did a great job with of being utilized not only at 5-on-5 but in penalty killing and power play situations. I've seen him as a guy in the last couple of postseasons that he has the ability to elevate his game when the stakes become higher, when it's harder to make an impact. So I think this is a very, very good signing by the Hurricanes.
Jack did earn that playing time last season, and that's actually something that I thought was actually going to impact the decision regarding how much that he was going to get or maybe even asked for because of Evgeny Kuznetsov no longer being with the team. But he is competing for some playing time, and Trip Tracy said that Jack Drury and Jesperi Kotkaniemi, it's going to be a healthy competition between those two.
But when I look at Jack and what he's established, and he's had to earn every bit of his very important standing on the Hurricanes, there are a couple of guys that are going to have a very healthy competition in the middle of the ice from that draft. Jack taken by the Hurricanes and Jesperi Kotkaniemi taken one pick after Svechnikov by the Montreal Canadiens at the time. Who is going to be the guy that earns the trust of the coach? And who is going to be the guy, while there's still that philosophical debate, you get to 24 years old, say, this is what you are. No, I don't think that that's necessarily true. It's, where do you take those next steps? So in a team sport where everybody's pulling on the rope for each other and together for Hurricane success, that's going to be an extremely healthy competition. When you think about Aho, you think about Jordan Staal, those other two centermen, and Jack and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Ideally, both guys grab it and take some very sizable steps, but that will be the ideal healthy competition that you're looking for.
So both Kotkaniemi and Jack Drury were both drafted the same year. All right, 2018, just like Andrei Svechnikov. They're all in that same draft. Now, Svechnikov went 2, Kotkaniemi went 3, Jack Drury went in the second round. Now, Jack Drury played at Harvard, played collegiately for a couple years before eventually signing his entry-level contract, where guys like Kotkaniemi and Svechnikov went to the NHL right away. Now, Drury in the playoffs last year was the number 2 center behind Sebastian Aho in the playoffs because Kotkaniemi was relatively ineffective offensively and even got bumped over to the wing. And even towards the tail end of the regular season before Jesper Fast got injured, Jesperi Kotkaniemi was sitting in, again, the press box as a healthy scratch. Like, that's where he was. Like, he had fallen that far down. But now, with former Kane, Evgeny Kuznetsov, no longer being there, and one of the reasons why Jack Drury ended up being the number 2 center was because Kuznetsov was just basically ineffective defensively. He was a defensive liability. So Drury got playing time on the line with Martin Necas and Jordan Martinook. Like, that was the second line in the playoffs. So that way also Carolina could balance out some scoring a little bit because they had Andrei Svechnikov playing down with on Jordan Stahl's line. So nonetheless, the value for Jack Drury did kind of go up, but also the need for both Drury and Kotkaniemi to raise their level of play. Get it done. Like, you guys are young players. You guys should be entering towards the prime of your careers. They both scored the same amount of points last season. They both had 25, but each. They both had 25 each. Now, Kotkaniemi was in double-digit goals, but the assist numbers were lower than Drury's. Drury was 8 goals, 17 assists last year. They both scored 25 points. They both have to be, especially whomever that second-line guy is, they both got to be 40-plus point guys. Just have to be. In order for this team to continue to be successful, they got to be 40-plus point guys, in my opinion. Whether that comes 15 goals, 25 assists, or 20 and 20, 25, 15, it doesn't matter. They got to be 40-plus point guys. And Jesperi Kotkaniemi is being paid to be your number 2 center right now. That's why they let Vincent Trocheck go, because they thought they could be that with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, that he could step up and be at that level. Hasn't done so quite yet.